1, 2. Let me make the chat live. All right, people. Welcome to another Eric Holder trial update. Give me a thumbs up if you could hear the audio. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear audio. I just want to confirm that audio is up and running. We will be doing another Eric Holder trial update, but this time we're going to break down the racial, ethnic, and gender makeup of the jury. And then I'll take questions on whether or not this jury, which way you think this jury would go based on their race, ethnicity, and their ages. We're going to talk about the Eric Holder jury. Just give me a couple of thumbs up in the chat so I could know that you could hear me. All right. So this whole trial rests on whether or not the jury believes that there's enough evidence for first-degree murder, for the killing of Nipsey Hussle, or second degree, or manslaughter for the killing of Nipsey Hussle. They have choices there. They also have to decide on whether or not they believe that there's a first-degree attempted murder on Carrie Latham and Shermai Villanueva. Have a couple of choices there too: assault with a deadly weapon, or a first-degree attempted murder. But the audio is low, so let's raise up that audio. Sorry about that. How's the audio now? Crack 1. How's the audio now? Sorry about that. That's what I was asking. If there was if you could hear the audio, give me a thumbs up if the audio is louder now. And then I'll restart what I just said. I know, let's start from the beginning since we just barely into this live. So welcome to Street TV. I'm Alex Alonso. I'm here with another Eric Holder trial update. And this time we're going to talk about the racial, ethnic, and gender makeup of the jury. The jury has to decide whether or not they think Eric Holder, Nipsey Hussle in first degree or manslaughter. That's what the two attorneys were arguing. Also, they got to determine whether or not Nipsey Hussle shot Shermai Villanueva and Carrie Latham, whether or not that's a first-degree attempted murder or is that an assault with a deadly weapon. Those are the main counts on the table. And we're going to talk about the jury. I'm going to break down this jury, and then you guys are going to decide whether or not how you think this jury would vote, because jury makeups is really the most important, part in trying to achieve a certain goal in a trial. And sometimes, you have a jury that just does not look favorable, whether you're the prosecutor or the defense. So let's start with juror number 1. Juror number 1 appeared to be a white male in his 30s. Now, it's a little difficult to identify who these jurors are because they had on masks. most of them had on masks. Not all of them, but most of them did. So juror number 1 appeared to be a white male in his 30s. Juror number 2 was a female. She looked like she could be in her 20s. And juror number 2 would be the youngest. She would be the youngest of the 12 jurors. And I couldn't figure out whether or not she was a white woman or a Latina woman because she had her mask on. Juror number 3, True Jewel said the jury is not reflective of the Crenshaw Slauson community. That is true. And I will take some questions in the chat after I go through these 12 jurors. Juror number 3 was a female in her 40s. Couldn't tell whether or not she was Latina or white. I have her as undecided. Juror number 4 was an Asian man in his 60s. And juror number 4 appeared to be the oldest of the 12 jurors. We also, juror number 5 was an Asian female in her 40s. Juror number 6 was a black female in her 40s. Juror number 7 appeared to be a white female in her 40s. Juror number 8 appeared to be a Latina female in her 40s. Juror number 9 and juror number 10 were both females, but race and ethnicity is undecided because, again, most of them were wearing COVID masks. Juror number 11 was a black female in her 40s. And juror number 12 was a white male in his 40s. So if I was to break this down racially, we have 2 blacks. We definitely have at least 3 whites, 2 Asians, 1 Latino, and there's 4 undecided, but those 4 undecided are going to mostly be white. So if we assume all those 4 that I have undecided are white, then we have 7 whites on the jury. It's quite possible that one of those 4 could be Latina. I don't know, based on the mask and my position in the court, and they were all on the far side. So no black males on this jury, and only 1 juror in the 20s. That appears to be. That's the female juror number 2. Appears to be the youngest. And we also have alternate jurors. We had 5 alternate jurors, but we lost alternate 5. I forgot the reason why alternate 5 was not there. And juror alternate number 5 was the youngest of those 5 alternates. That was a Latino male, probably in his late 30s. For whatever reason, he's gone. So we got 4 alternate jurors left. And that's only if one of the 12 jurors is not able to finish deliberating. You would think that maybe a couple of jurors might fall out because of July 4th, but all these jurors were told that this trial will go into the first week of July. So far, none of the 12 jurors have fell out. Of the other 4 alternates left I have as alternate number 4 is a white female in her 50s. Alternate number 3 is a female in her 50s, possibly. Alternate number 2 is a female in her 40s. And alternate number 1 appears to be a white male in his 50s. So I'll take a few questions on what you think, how the jury would be swayed, considering the arguments, first-degree murder, manslaughter. And it is true, this jury does not represent, I would say this jury does not represent South LA. It's not even the Crenshaw Slauson community. It's just South LA. I mean, this jury is predominantly white, possibly 7 white jurors. If not, then 6. 50% of this jury is possibly white. Only 2 of them are black. Definitely have one Latino, possibly 2 Latinos on the jury. So it's definitely not representative of the community south of the 10 freeway. That's for sure. But let's take a few questions on where you think this is going. First degree, second degree, manslaughter. And the jury will continue to deliberate on Wednesday morning. They're taking off Monday, of course, for July 4th. and they're taking off Tuesday as well. So we have to wait till Wednesday morning for this jury to continue to deliberate. So hit me with some questions. It wouldn't be a fair trial. I don't know what you mean by that. The verdict this week. Strategic schemes is asking, will we have a verdict this week? I would think we would have a verdict. Perhaps it's possible that on Wednesday afternoon the jury comes back with a verdict, and it's possible Thursday as well. They deliberated for about 5 hours on Friday, and they will continue on Wednesday, which will be the second day of deliberations. And you would think that perhaps 12 people can come to a decision on this by the second day. If not the third day, that would be Thursday. Let me give you a date on that. So they'll be back in court on July 6th to deliberate, and we should have a verdict perhaps that afternoon or possibly Thursday the 7th. If we don't have a verdict by the end of this week, that means that there is disagreement on the Eric Holder jury. All right, what else? What do I think since I was in the courtroom every day? I mean, I can't be inside the heads of 12 other people. There's no way that I could have any idea. But this is a jury. See, one thing that's very important, this argument about snitching and paperwork, that is the basis of the defense's argument in terms of a manslaughter. And there are just too many people in society that don't understand the ramifications of a snitch conversation or a paperwork conversation. So, I'm not so certain that, the 60-year-old Asian man that appears to be an immigrant, that's juror number 4, really cares less about paperwork and snitch conversations, or probably doesn't even understand the nature of that. Just looking at this jury makeup, I'm not so sure that this jury makeup understands those ramifications. When I talk to people, if you listen to Streets and Scholars episode 20, I asked FG, what would he do in a situation like this if it was 20, 30 years ago, or, when he was a youngster? And he said he would have took flight and did the same exact thing without hesitation. You do not address a man about snitching and paperwork without understanding that there's going to be some consequences to that. So if the jury pool was made up of people like FG, they would definitely be voting for the manslaughter, hands down, without a doubt. But most of the jury is not thinking the way FG thinks. Have you ever heard Eric Holder's voice? I have not heard Eric Holder speak at all. Actually, there was one time where the judge asked him during the pretrial court date if he understood. He was waiving his right to a speedy trial because they had to extend the date. And the judge just asked him, do you understand your rights? And all he said was, yeah, one word. And that was like maybe in 2020 or 2021 during one of the pretrial meetings. Bros going to get premeditated murder, 9 minutes. Gangster Mo, he believes that the 9 minutes is too long. Well, if you break down all the acts after that conversation ended, it's actually less than 9 minutes. 9 minutes is when he finally shot him. But there was testimony that Bernita said he was pulling his gun out, loading it, trying to do a drive-by from her car as they drove down Slauson. That was only 2 minutes later, but she stopped him. So I'm sure the jury is considering that action as well. The kick in the head was passion. That kick in the head might lean towards heat of passion. Heat of passion. The jury's going to be looking at that. This man shot him 10 times and then kicked him in the head after. You think he premeditated that kick? Do you think that Eric Holder said to himself, I'm going to shoot this man, and then after I shoot him, I'm going to kick him in the head? you know that kick in the head just came out of left field. Just came out of left field. There's no doubt about that kick in the head just came out of the air at that moment. No doubt about that kick in the head. Give me a thumbs up if you think that kick in the head was premeditated. Or let me word it this way. Give me a thumbs up if you think that kick in the head was heat of passion. Give me a thumbs down if you think that kick in the head was premeditated. Thumbs up, the kick in the head is heat of passion. Thumbs down if it was premeditated. So give me a thumbs up if you think the kick in the head, I'm not talking about the shooting, just the kick in the head, was that heat of passion? Or was that kick in the head premeditated? Meaning that somewhere along in that 9 minutes, he said, I'm going to shoot this dude and kick him in the head. Thumbs up if it was heat of passion. Thumbs down if it was that kick in the head was premeditated. Mostly thumbs up. Hey, First One says thumbs down. You think the kick in the head was premeditated. So does Lay Low Mike. Lay Low Mike. Thumbs up if you think that kick in the head was just heat of passion, as someone previously stated here in the chat. Or thumbs down, the kick in the head was premeditated. Well, there's quite a few thumbs up that say that was premeditated. I'm sorry, there's quite a few thumbs down that believe the kick was premeditated. Thumbs up if you think that kick in the head was heat of passion. Thumbs down if that kick in the head was premeditated, meaning part of his he decided he was going to not only shoot Nip, but before he left there, he was going to kick him in the head. All premeditated. Thumbs down. Thumbs up if that kick was a heat of passion kick. I personally think the kick in the head was definitely a heat of passion. I think that kick in the head just came at that moment while he was in the middle of shooting Nip. Why would Eric return twice to finish off Nip unless it was a hit? I don't know. I don't believe he returned twice. He stayed in the same spot between the white cars. He just moved his body back and forth. He never left. He stayed there the entire time. So I'm not sure what you mean by leave twice. Yeah, we're saying if you just jumped in this live, we're asking that kick in the head, was that heat of passion? Thumbs up. Or was that kick in the head premeditated? Was that part of his plan? I'm going to kick this guy in the head after I shoot him. Give me a thumbs down if you think the kick in the head was premeditated. Is Eric Holder Belizean? I don't know if Eric Holder's Belizean. He had the choice to stop shooting, but persisted until he secured death. Not sure what you mean by that one. If it were heat of passion, he would have shot him right then and there when they were talking. He had a gun on him. That's a good argument, Big Frank says. There was evidence that Eric Holder already had a gun in his right front pocket. And what Big Frank is saying, if this was heat of passion, why didn't he just pull out the blammer right there and shoot him? That's a great question. And we don't know why. We don't know why. I mean, whether or not it's heat of passion or first degree, why didn't he do it right then and there? It could have been that he wanted to get his food. I'm gonna get my food, which was already ordered. I'm gonna go get my food and leave this place. And when he started to eat his food or get his food, he just decided, man, I'm not leaving this place. I'm mad. I'm hot. I'm heated. You know, this guy disrespected me. I don't think we expect that all heat of passion homicides have to happen instantly. I always tell people, check out the DeAndre Bonds case. DeAndre Bonds is the actor on Snowfall. A lot of people don't know he was sentenced to 11 years in prison for manslaughter. I think he was I forget what year that happened. That had to happen in 2001 or something like that. 2001. I think he got out in about 2010. He did 9 years on an 11-year sentence. And the prosecution in his case was trying to find him guilty of first-degree murder. The jury disagreed on that one and gave him the manslaughter. So, there are some instances where this has happened multiple, lots of times where juries have voted for manslaughter. I can only think of that one. Why hasn't the judge asked about the videotape and why it's been so edited? Cash flow. If you're talking about the camera from the Shell gas station, they show the clips in the trial. They go straight to the parts they want to show. That whole clip is about 32 minutes long, I believe. I believe that video clip is 32 minutes long. And if you want to watch the whole thing, you can, just acquire the exhibits and watch the whole thing. But it's not edited at all. I've seen most of the video clip, and it is not edited at all. And I'm just checking my notes here for the duration of that video, just so I don't steer you in the wrong direction. But that would have been, I believe that's angle number 6 of the Shell gas station footage. And that one is the longest video clip. There's 3 clips in that particular exhibit. Camera 6, camera 5, camera 21. And camera 6 is the longest one. And it is about 32 minutes long. Nothing has been edited. It hasn't been cut or any of that. Are any 60s sympathizing with Eric Holder? I have no idea. I have no idea. Well, I want to appreciate all 298, almost 300 of y'all checking me out in this live. I'm not sure if I'm going to go for another 7 minutes to make this an even 30, but I'm probably going to check out in about 7 minutes. We'll make this an even 30. Cashflow says, man, that tape is edited. Everybody know that video has been edited. Why would you sit there and say it's not edited? Because the video is not edited. That video is not edited. I mean, you can get it from the Shell gas station. You can get it from the LAPD. You can get it from TMZ. TMZ has the video. It has not been edited unless you're accusing the Shell gas station for editing it. But that video starts at about 5 minutes before Nipsey gets there. I said not 5 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes before Nipsey's car pulls up, and it goes for about 2 or 3 minutes after he gets shot. So that video has not been edited. You have no information or no evidence that video has been edited. So I don't know why people are saying that. Shell turned that video over to 2 organizations. They turned it over to TMZ, and TMZ got the video first. TMZ got that video before the LAPD got the video. The LAPD went the following morning and got it. TMZ went that night and got it. So they both got the same video. So who edited it? Get out of here with them ridiculous conspiracy theories. And let's take some questions. I'm going to take some questions just on that video for the next 5 minutes. Anyone who has a question about that video that TMZ first acquired, go ahead and ask. If you think it's edited, this is for all the conspiracy theorists. If you think it's edited, where is it edited? No, Cowboy didn't say he took his lunch at 1. He said he normally takes his lunch at 1. He said it was lunchtime. Usually I take my lunch at 1. Go back and read the transcripts. Who is that? Cash Flow, you're out here spreading lies. Nipsey pulled up at that marathon store. It wasn't 2:45. It was about I'm gonna say 2:49. 2:49 p.m. He pulls up at the Marathon clothing store. 2:49. We'll take a couple of video questions because I'm willing to answer any and all of those questions. Jorge, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. First guy to tap in. I want to take a couple of questions and then we'll get back to the jury. We'll get back to the jury on whether or not they'll vote first degree or manslaughter. So when did he die? At Cowboys lunchtime or at 2:45? No, Nipsey pulls up about 2:49 p.m. 2:49. We got 3 cameras. And let me also say the Master Burger camera. And we have 4 cameras. We got the Master Burger camera. We have the Shell Station cameras. No, let's break this all down. Shell Station has 3 cameras. Master Burger has 1 camera. The house on 58th Place has 2 cameras. And Ingrid Caston has her video camera on her cell phone. So how many cameras is that? We got 3 at the Shell, 1 at the Master Burger. We have 2 at the residence on 58th and Ingrid's cell phone. That's 7 cameras. We got 7 cameras to tell us what time this happened. Here's a question. If the tape was recording everything that day, show me some footage of when Black Sam pulls up to the scene, not him just doing CPR. Conspiracy thug. Well, you know what? The 32 minutes just covers when Nip pulls in and after Nip gets shot. If you want more footage, then go to the Shell gas station. They got 32 minutes. Or contact TMZ. Maybe TMZ has like a whole hour. We don't know how much TMZ has. But in this trial, they're showing 32 minutes when Nipsey pulls in, about a minute or 2 before he pulls in, and about a minute or 2 after he is shot. Did Rimpau give a statement to the police, J.O.? If he gave a statement to the police, no one's seen it. It hasn't been introduced as evidence. The detective did say he had spoke to Rimpau. Detective Cedric Washington said he spoke to Rimpau, but no report, nothing was introduced in the trial, nothing. So I can't say yay or nay on that. Rimpau runs 4.3 seconds in 40-yard dash easily. I remember hearing the prosecutor playing. He said, we're going to play this tape in slow motion, and you can still see Rimpau running fast. Well, back to this just jury pool, since no one else has any questions on the video. We got 2 blacks. We definitely have 3 whites. We have 2 Asians. We have 1 Latino, and we have 4 undecided. 4 undecided. Those 4 undecided are possibly white, but I couldn't tell if they were white or Latino because of wearing COVID masks. You really can't get a sense. So, and then we have I think I said earlier or in a previous video, I said there were 8 women on the jury. I think I said there were 4 males. That's incorrect. There are 9 women, 3 men on this jury. 9 women, 3 men on this jury. And let me also say something about, snitching and paperwork and all these allegations about telling. This is something that really happens in the male sphere. This is the male sphere. When people are politicking on this, it's mostly men. We got a majority female jury, deciding this. 9 women, 3 men also deciding this kind of male dominated topic. You don't usually get a bunch of women politicking about snitching. So that's another issue that we got to deal with when it comes to this jury. That when it comes to snitching and informing and trying to get a jury to understand that, you mostly want men on that jury. I don't know if this trial shed enough light on the severity and the consequences of this type of street politicking has. Machiavella Mafia, thanks for the second super chat. I appreciate it. Can we agree at this point that Dr. Sebi, Big U, and the man handing him a gun theories were all wrong? I think we could agree 100%. Dr. Sebi, there's no evidence that Nipsey's interest in the Dr. Sebi story, documentary, his movement, had anything to do with him getting shot and killed. If Big U had anything to do with this, trust me, Detective Cedric Washington would have been slapping handcuffs on that brother immediately. Cedric Washington has no hesitation on putting anyone in prison that was connected to this. And the man handing him a gun theories, there's no evidence of that whatsoever. None whatsoever. So you see, there's evidence that Eric Holder has a gun in his front pocket when he walks into the Master Burger. There's also evidence that Brenita Nicholson, she saw him with these same 2 guns at Cousin Harold's house a week or so before. She even described the revolver as having duct tape around it. She said that when they would go out to different places, the beach, Hollywood, driving around LA, he would have a gun on him sometimes. So where is this evidence that someone handed him a gun? It makes no sense that someone handed him a gun when all the evidence suggests this guy Ben had guns. Ben had it. Cousin Harold, Bernita Nicholson. And when he walks into the Master Burger, you can see a gun bulging through his right front pocket, if you believe the testimony from Detective Cedric Washington. So most of the evidence points in the other direction, that someone handed him a gun. Please explain what gangsters y'all know that drives around with an unloaded gun. Her testimony says he got in the car and started loading bullets into the clip. That is true. Her testimony was that he started to load up a gun. Maybe because he has 2, one was already loaded. He didn't feel the need to load the second one. The prosecution, did they do a rebuttal? Tiffany Fairman says, did they do a rebuttal? Yes, they did a rebuttal, closing arguments, and I wasn't able to get that footage right away from the pool videographer, and I'm going to try to get that for you guys. I'm going to try to get that tomorrow. Oh, no, tomorrow's the 4th. I'll see. When I got all the footage, for whatever reason, the rebuttal was not on there, and I was very disappointed, but I should be able to get it. Also, I re-uploaded prosecution John McKinney's closing arguments with enhanced audio. I apologize for the way the audio came out on that. That's the way it was delivered. I didn't really bother to listen to it. I just uploaded it. I remember the judge saying that he didn't want a mic in there. So that was the way it was recorded. And I'm going to re-upload the defense attorney's closing arguments, Aaron Jansen's closing arguments with enhanced audio as soon as I get off this live. I was going to get off here, man, but we got 360 people up in this room, and we'll do our normal 60-minute stream, and we'll call it a wrap. What were the calibers of the weapons? Well, the semi-automatic weapon was a .40 caliber, and we don't know any details on the revolver. Gangster Mode 310, they're showing 32 minutes because that's all they need in the trial. Bunch of conspiracy theorists. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to have the 30 minutes of footage before Nip even pulls up. Just imagine how ridiculous that sounds. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm gonna play this video for you, but I'm gonna start it at 30 minutes before Nip shows up. Okay, and then I'm gonna let it run for 30 minutes after his body has been taken away. And we're gonna watch this whole thing for about 3 hours long. Makes no freaking sense, people. They get the evidence they need, and then they present it. And if you don't like it, go to TMZ and get more footage. If you think something is shady or you know, something nefarious is going on, I don't know what to tell you people. 32 minutes is more than enough to cover Nip showing up and then Eric Holder shooting him. Remember, this is about him getting shot. It's not about what time did Sam, his brother, get there. What does that even have anything to do with this case? What relevance does Black Sam's arrival to the Marathon store parking lot even matter? Tell me, somebody. Does it matter what time Black Sam came there to try to save his brother's life? Sackville Baggins, we shouldn't focus on the BS conspiracies. I agree with you 100%. I should have a debate. I want to know who is the leading conspiracy theorist on the Nipsey Hussle, Eric Holder shooting. Who is the most respected, the leading conspiracy theorist on that? And then let's have a debate. I don't know. I mean, there's so many videos out there. I don't even know if any one person stands out that has any credibility. But if there's a person that stands out, let me know. There are so many people, Alonso, it's not even worth it. You're probably right. It's probably not even worth wasting my time. But I would love to shred to pieces any person who thinks that there's something else going on here other than what we learned in the trial, what we learned in the grand jury transcripts, what we learned through all the evidence, what we learned from about 7 cameras. Let me see if I got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cameras. This is a very unique case in the sense that the entire crime is captured on camera. The entire crime is captured on camera. And people still don't believe what they saw. Gangster Mo said it's only street code civilians don't abide. Oh, okay. Would you interview the guy who beat down Eric? Hey, I don't know what the status of that guy. I don't know if he's going to prison for life. I don't know what. I know I don't have his identity. I just know very little bit about him. I know he's Latino. I know he's from LA, and I know what gang he's from. Other than that, I don't know anything else. And I also want to apologize to any jurors that may be watching this. If I got your age wrong, if I got your race and ethnicity wrong, no disrespect intended. I'm just trying to educate those that weren't in the court what the makeup of the jury kind of looks like, so they can get an understanding of what way this verdict can go. And in my opinion, because it is a majority female jury, 9 women, 3 men, I'm not so sure that snitching and paperwork is even relevant to them. I don't think this is something that computes to most women. This is a topic that men politic on. You know, you got to be the hardest of the hardcore women to be politicking on somebody's paperwork. I'm not saying those women don't exist, but this is predominantly a male dominated sport. And then also, most of these jurors are in their 40s or over. I got one juror number 2, possibly in her 20s, and that's it. Oh, and juror number 1 might be in his 30s. And that's it. Everybody is 40 and 50, and we got the Asian juror that's definitely in his 60s. He's the oldest juror of the 12. So, to argue about snitching and paperwork to this type of jury, I think it's going to be pretty difficult. But we'll see. Come on. What else we got here? Interview Eric. I think Eric did it. Didn't Eric do an over the phone interview before? I don't know. Which was crazy because you don't do interviews when you're about to go on trial for murder. You probably shouldn't be doing interviews. I want to thank all 380 people that are in this chat. I'm very appreciative for all of you guys who have showed an interest in this case and an interest in this channel and this platform. If you're new to this platform, StreetTV, please subscribe. I am going to do my best to bring some jurors to you. I have put myself on the list to meet some of the jurors after the trial is over. I'm sure some of them will be able to do face-to-face interviews, like just taking notes and things of that sort. But I'm going to try to get some jurors that would love to sit down in front of a camera and talk about what they felt like during the trial, what motivated them during deliberations. So stay tapped into this channel because I'm going to try to bring you some interviews from the jurors after this case is all over. When is the trial over? Patrick Scott asks, when is this trial over? It's probably going to be over later this week. Let me pull up my calendar to give you some precise dates. Tomorrow's Independence Day, July 4th. The court is closed. The judge is also taking off on July 5th, Tuesday. We won't have deliberations until Wednesday, July 6th. That will be the second day of deliberations. On last Friday, July 1st, was the first day of deliberations. They deliberated for 5 hours. And I don't know what time they're coming in. And it's quite possible we might have a verdict